Good evening. This is the Elliott Wave update for the NASDAQ 100 and the S&P 500 for Monday, December the 18th, 2023. Well, as we move on with this Christmas week, the markets were a bit divided today. We saw the Dow barely up, it was up less than $1. The cash market future was up a whopping $10. Uh, NASDAQ was the winner today, up 101. S&P, because of its correlation with the Mag 7 stocks, benefited and was up 22. The Russell itself was down a little bit, very small. So we saw the rotation continuing with, again, some indexes benefiting from the movement of capital and others not quite so much. I'm going to start here on the NASDAQ. And as I said yesterday, I'm going to continue to focus on this hourly chart as we move into the year end. And also, as I believe we're kind of moving up to reaching what I believe could be a more significant top in terms of that we're going to get a little bit larger of a pullback once it's complete. So just to kind of recap, now we're in the NASDAQ. I opened it on the hourly chart, but let's just do a very quick recap. I'm going to go to the 4-hour chart, and you can see we're in a intermediate C wave up. That'll consist of 5 waves of minor degree, of which we have 1 through 4 complete. We're in minor 5, and inside of minor 5, we are now coming through on finishing up, which is likely going to be the minuet 3rd wave, and this is where it started down here on the 6th of December. Believe it should have been, the 6th of December. We started up on minuet 3, and within it, we have the subwaves 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, coming in today, you probably thought, okay, we left open the possibility that wave 4 could be still in progress, come back down. We were here, come back down. I think we had that support all the way down to being flat at 16,628. But we also had levels of a bit higher. I think 1746 would have been one. And the market did tend to come a little bit, but then it just started to rally, and it kind of just kept the rally going. Now, I want to just throw in some fibs here, because rather than just immediately assume that it's 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, and most of 3, I want to just show you that if we take it at face value for what it is, I'm going to put something up. And what we're going to do is I'm going to just draw the fibs again for a B wave. Again, that would be this is wave A, and this would be wave B. Now, I'm going to go over and I'm going to add, first I'm going to get rid of all of these, which no longer have any validity. And I'm going to put up as if it was an irregular B wave. And if you look at that, the 1.382 is 16,983. This actually comes in, that high was 16,974. And right on the nose, 974. So missed it slightly. So it comes in between 1.236 and 1.382. Now, so this is basically looking like it was 3 waves down. And this looks like it was 3 waves up. So we can open the possibility that a irregular B, because it went up and made a new high above the A wave. But if the market were to continue now, open lower, and then just continue to move down, we can put up again some fibs that would show, well, if it is irregular, what could we expect? And since it got very close to the 1.382, and we're looking at how the generalizations go in terms of when a 4th wave is producing an irregular B wave, what would we expect then from that C wave if wave B came in at 1.382? Wave C would then be expected to be 1.618. So we get a little bit of extension on both sides from what otherwise would be determined to be a flat, right? Even though it went up, we were looking for it to be, if anything, a flat. And that's what we talked about last night when it would only that made that high, slight new high, looking that it could come back down to 16,628, put a nice flat in, and then rally. Well, that's still possible, but instead it's done what would be termed as irregular, can come back down at least to 16,028, maybe down to 1.618. That would be the fib relationship that we would look for between wave C and wave A. Right? So between wave A and wave B, instead of flat, we got 1.382. Wave A and wave C would be coming in at 1.618. And that's actually 16,558. Now, do we expect it to drop all that much on the holiday week and something, in terms of what the market has been tending to do, which is just continuing to rally? It definitely could. What if tomorrow is time to rotate out of NASDAQ, rotate into something else? Then we're looking at the market could definitely put in a nice little down wave and then still continue up. Now, that is just one of the possibilities that could develop for tomorrow. I'm going to take that away and look at the other possibility, which of course is that wave 4 is complete. So we're looking at wave 5. So we met the 100 marker, which again was pretty low because it was 16,903. That being said, we exceeded it. We got up to that next level, which was 16,973, and it got up to 74. So basically hit that level on the nose. And so, but if it pulls back, and indeed this is wave 4, and we do have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, a small 4, we get a 5, and then another 4, and then a greater 5, and we get up to the next level for the sub-minuet wave 5. We're looking at 17,072, 73, right up in there. Out here, we're looking at the minute wave 5, being 3.618 times the length of minute wave 1. And that's at 17,134. So you can see how these all start to maybe rally or rally into each other, let's say, and start to put together a picture like, well, once we get in a 5, so that would be, we're done with the minuet wave 3. So we need a minuet wave 4 and a minuet wave 5. Then we're going to be looking for where these completion points for minute wave 5 would be. And we'll go one further and see if I have any on there. And we're coming back out. And where does the C wave come in? And looking at the C wave is going to be over here, where it would be 1.236 times the length of the A wave. And I'm going to go out to my, so we have that, and that's those way out here. And that would be where, well, that's not fitting. Excuse me. Let me just put these, they're so far back. I want to make sure. So this one actually is for this B wave, but the larger B wave being an irregular. And we have 18,249 and 19,167. Internally, if we're looking at the C wave, then we're going to do something like this. And come back down to here. And then we're going to go over here and we're going to get rid of these because they're no longer functional. And neither is that one. And let's see what these come up with. You can see now we're adding C wave. This one, 382, done. So we know we need to take that off because it's already been exceeded. So if we're looking for upper levels of potential, you're going to see the cluster. Now I'm going to bring it back down. Let's at least bring it back down here where we can get all three, and we're looking at the C wave. You see a cluster here. We're seeing minor wave 5, 1.618, 7,892. Intermediate wave C, right up there, but just below, 17,791. So we've got a nice cluster right here. And then again, we have that larger primary B wave getting up into its irregular territory at 18,250. So we've got clusters now building. And again, as we walk through this, I'm now going to bring it back down off the daily. Let's put it back on the hourly chart and let's open it up so that I can look at all these internals. So now we're still in sub-minuet wave 5. Or if we're in 4, we know what that story is going to be. This would be A, this would be B. It would become irregular. The market would drop. We'd expect at least to come back to probably 16,628. If not, then down to that 1.618 number. Before, again, then picking up the rally one more time, still being expected to reach these upper levels. Or the second possibility, the rally continues tomorrow. This being just a small pullback. Best looked at, I'll tell you, this would be wave 1 of subminuet wave 5. This would be wave 2 of that wave 5. And then we start 1, 2, 3. Possibly we do a little 4. We get a 5 to complete the 3. And we get another 4 and a 5 to complete subminuet wave 5. And then minuet wave 3. And we'd be looking at somewhere up towards 17,073. So again, that clean break above 17,000, which I thought actually could have happened today, got caught up at the top level about the 73, but it was well on the way. So depending on how volumes come in tomorrow, they were a little bit light today, for the size of the move. I wasn't taking many futures to get these moves to go. But a little bit more of a pullback could be in line. If we look at the hourly chart, it's coming off of a pretty strong overbought, starts to come down. So that actually gives more support to the irregular B. It comes all the way down and then goes and rallies again. So we got support for both. If it doesn't, and we turn up again from here, then we just got a much higher low, a turn and a run, and we finish this up, and possibly that minuet wave 3. All in all, we've now got a path, and we can continue to add to our clusters of where we're starting to see where this move may end up and complete. Moving averages continue to sit pretty good position. We'll go out to the daily. We'll take a look. This is the 50. It is rounded. It's continuing to push a little bit higher along with the 200. The volumes aren't all that great, so it's not really bringing these up, although the rallies are pretty strong and they're really nice, and they're pretty solid money makers. So, and then we have the 20 and we have the 8, both 8 pointing higher as it should, and the 20 got a pretty good upward trajectory at the moment. So that is it for the NASDAQ. Going over to the S&P. The S&P today also rallied and well, but got above 4,800, which was definitely in the cards for today. But like the NASDAQ, in a similar fashion, we are finishing up minute wave 3, and within it, we have minuet 1, 2, 3, 4. And I had placed the 3 here and the 4 there and the 5 here. And I thought, no, that came down, didn't come down far enough to really produce the 4th wave I would have thought. So I moved it up. The 3, I moved it up to here. But that decline that we saw on Friday, on Thursday, that we saw on Thursday, put that in as wave 4. And then this is 1, and that's just a 2. Instead of that continuation that I was looking for to bring it in to finish off a larger 4, the minute 4. So again, 1, 2, 3, small little 4 here. Maybe we get a rally, a finishing rally, takes us up to that 48.08. That's next resistance, as well as the all-time high. So if we were to stop there in terms of completing minute wave 3 there, then we're looking for another pullback. So the NASDAQ and the S&P should continue to mirror in terms of rallying and correcting together. That I do think is going to kind of continue since the bulk of all of our year-end movement seems to be coming within the top 10, or at least 7, as they're called, the Mag 7, within these indexes. So you can see that the NASDAQ was up over 100 with Apple being down a buck 70 today, AMAT being down, AMD being down, but against NVIDIA being up strongly, closing finally above 500. So again, I'd say year-end push. That's where everybody wants to show it, I guess, and that's where they're going to get. Eventually, it's going to attract, some profit taking, but not yet. All right, so back to the S&P. The way I'm going to look at this is again 3, 4, and then we're inside that minuet wave 5 to put the finishing or the completion point in for minute wave 3. Right now, I would be looking for this fourth wave. And so I'm going to go again, small 1, small 2, small 3, small 4. It right now would almost be a wash as the small 4 could actually come down and start to cross over. So, could this be the completion point? It could. It could. And then we bring the 3, the 5 and the 3 down a little bit and put them right there. So strange patterns and possibly within this fifth, it's all going to work into a diagonal. I don't know yet. We're throwing out all the possibilities. So again, my expectation is that, and has been, as I already said last night, for the S&P to go to new all-time highs, both via the futures market, which is very close to doing, almost got there today, and the cash market getting over its high, which I believe is 48.18. So it's got even a little bit more to go than the future does. So I'm expecting that to come in. I'm expecting the market to try to actually, if we're here, this fourth wave is where these projections are. So if this actually takes off tomorrow and we gain some traction, we could end up closer to here before we get the end of 3 and 5. If not, and we're taking this as a completion point, it takes a little bit of a dip back. 47.46 remains in the picture, even though I would likely take this out. Now, let's try the same exercise that I just did over in the other market. And that would be, it didn't work. Let me take that back. Let's go one more time. Let's go here. I don't need that much more. So we're going to really look at, I can do it from here, those same fibs to see what we got. Put it there. We're going to go here. We're going to edit. Retracements 3. We're going to take out all the good stuff and leave these for irregulars. Look at that, 1.236. Bingo, on the nose today. That came in at 48.02. That high was 48.02. So it came in and hit it on the nose, 1.236. That's the first level. If indeed this is wave A of 4, wave B of 4, and now we get to do another one. So remember that came in right on the nose. So let's take this one down. And now we put up just our straight extension fibs, which would show us wave C. So again, we still have the possibility. Now, same deal as with the NASDAQ. So if the NASDAQ goes into a little bit of what we would consider, wow, a nice little stronger down day, we can almost look for the S&P to follow suit, because now they are following in relationship to that. They're in the same pattern. In a regular B, coming down in a C, has potential. If it's going to go the full 1.618, 47.28. Otherwise, we're looking at 47.46. Where it comes down, and it does come down, at least get below that a little bit. But that's the full potential. If indeed this is, again, wave 3 is there, A of 4, B of 4, we put in a C of 4, and then we rally yet again, get back up at 4,800 and start heading for these upper levels. And we can do that all by the end of the week. So again, that's why I'm telling you, I'm focusing on this, the hourly chart as we're in these final moves so that we're all just kind of getting prepared. I don't want to be jumping the gun. I don't want to be declaring, hey, we're all done. Everybody gets short. First of all, I do not recommend trades. So everybody's going to take their own call and their own choice. But I do think we still have more to do to the upside. And whether it becomes more of a struggle or not, we're going to allow for all the potential and the possibilities that I'm now putting out. So if we can come in tomorrow and we do get a little bit of a seriously good down day, might be perfect, but it could stop once it's done and just start to rally all over again. All right, so that's going to be it. Moving averages were still all looking really good. The only one here on the hourly was that 50 by the end of the day. It started to go pretty flat. Not horribly unexpected. Again, low volumes today. So that could be part of it. So overall, in both the S&P and the NASDAQ, looking for the possible completion for this smaller or the completion of the sub-minuet wave 5, or excuse me, the minuet wave 5 to put in minute wave 3. So all the way around, we still got rally, decline, rally, or decline, rally, decline, rally. So we got a lot going on. That's going to be it for today. Now, tomorrow, we have, I think we got a few things. Let me just double check my calendar here. We have at 8:30 a.m. Eastern, housing starts and building permits. 9:30, Richmond Fed President Thomas Barkin will be talking. And then at 12:30 Eastern, Atlanta Fed Raphael Bostic will be speaking. So, Goolsby was out there talking it up today, talking about how the market reaction was a little bit confusing and don't want to get people confused, blah, blah. So we'll see what they all got to say tomorrow. So first off, housing starts and building permits. I don't think there'll be any surprises there. I think the market it'll be an algorithmic response, and then the market will just get back to what it was doing. Next update, Tuesday, December the 19th.